and I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining us today for The Right View. We are so excited because we're joined by a true legend, Hall of Famer, co-founder of Whiskey in the Wild, Jeremy Roenick. Jeremy, welcome. Listen, you kind of, as an athlete, are what I aspired to be. It didn't really work out for me because straight out of high school, you were drafted, you were sort of a star and you knew it. What was that like for you? Because I feel like for so many people, they dream about that sort of thing their whole life. Did you know early on that you were special, that you were different, that you had a gift, or was this just kind of like I've always lived like life like this? This is how it goes.
Actually, it's crazy because when I was in high school, I was only 145 pounds.
Oh wow.
So for me, it was like, okay, you're going to go play professional sports and you weigh 140. Yeah, no, that's not your jam. But I was very good. I was very fast, and I think a twitch of what you would understand is a competitive level
Oh.
that will not be denied, right? So I decided to go for it because I'm like, listen, if I don't make it in the pros at 18 years old, I can always go back to college and be the person that maybe is going to go into finance, go into political stuff, whatever I wanted to do. But I had to take the chance because that was my time. And even though I was small and I was frail, I had a mentality that I thought I can make it. And I did. It was one of those things that I'm very proud of.
Sounds a lot like somebody else I know. Sometimes, Jeremy, if you just say, I'm not going to lose, that's sort of all you need. I think about a man named Donald Trump a little bit when I hear the way you're talking about things, because if you're just saying, listen, I'm not going to quit, I'm going to keep fighting, ultimately, there really kind of is only one outcome, which is to get to your goal and achieve your goals.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about this. So my husband and I have conversations a lot about like the greatest sports athletes and people in sports of all time. And obviously Wayne Gretzky is one of those people.
Yeah.
Wayne Gretzky, let me tell us the story about Wayne Gretzky, because when you were still in high school, he invited you out to play, right?
Yeah, I was 14 years old, and he wanted me to go play for his junior team. And so he invited me out. So I went down to Boston, had breakfast with him, and then went to the game to the Boston Bruins. I'm with the Edmonton Oilers. I'm a Boston Bruins guy, Lara. I can't go into the Edmonton Oilers locker room and
sacrilege. Like, don't do it.
Exactly. So I went into the locker room, and I'm 14 years old. He wanted me to go play for his junior team, and my mom said no. My mom says, you're not leaving home. You're not going to go play junior hockey. You're going to stay home with me. And I had to say no to Gretzky. And that was in 1984. And then in 1991, literally 7 years later, I'm sitting next to him in an all-star game in Chicago. Nice. And he's like, JR, this is pretty cool. I asked you to come play for my junior team, and now you're here in an all-star game. And it all comes down to mentality. And he's like, I knew you had it, JR, and now you're right next to me in an all-star game. And I thought that was really cool. But
that's pretty solid.
You have to be confident in yourself. I mean, there's no question. Confidence is everything, and you can achieve anything if you're confident in yourself.
Sometimes you got to fake it till you make it, but that's okay. You just put it out there.
Line. Yeah. I love that line. That is one of the best lines that people don't understand, that fake it till you make it, because confidence is bred off of people that say consistency. And if you fake it and you keep getting consistency, you're going to make it. That's a great line. I'm so happy that you said that line.
Well, it's kind of how I feel like a lot of my life. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know how I ended up here. I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to do my best at whatever is in front of me.
Hey, Lara, let me tell you something. I think our great leader, Donald Trump, is going back into the White House with one of the greatest comebacks of all time. But I think what you did with the RNC and totally changing the mentality of what was going to happen and how things were going to be viewed, and to make sure that we had a fair election, what you did is going to go down in the annals as one of the greatest leadership roles that have ever been put in the RNC.
Wow.
You did an amazing job. You really did an amazing job.
That's so nice. Thank you so much. It honestly means so much to hear you say that, especially, but to hear it at all is really, I mean, it's humbling. I'll tell you, Jeremy, to come into the Trump family as an outsider. I didn't grow up like my husband and his family. I come from a very standard background. I probably grew up like most Americans. To be part of a family like this would be enough. And then to have been asked to play a role like I did, I took it very seriously, and I wasn't going to be the one that let anybody down. So thank you. That's so nice.
And you had thick skin.
Yeah.
And, you had to. And by the way, everybody in the Republican Party and the Trump Foundation and the Trump family have to have thick skin. And
that's right. And by the way, that's a mistake that I think they made on the other side, is that once you kind of poke people long enough, they get used to it, and it doesn't affect them anymore like it would if you came out, real hot all of a sudden out of the blue. And so we've all kind of been conditioned for 9 years to deal with the nonsense. So here we are. To go back very quickly, though, to Wayne Gretzky, here's the thing that Eric and I always get in an argument about. When we talk about the greatest athletes of all times and who is the greatest athlete of all time, we have a lot of discussion. He always puts Wayne Gretzky at the top, and I know he's the leading scorer still, I think, in the NHL right now. Yeah. Who do you think is the greatest athlete of all times? Do you have a person who you view in that way?
For me, it's Michael Jordan.
That's mine too. Let me get Eric on the phone. See?
Yes.
Michael Jordan and I went to the same high school, Jeremy. You know that?
No way.
Not at the same time, but he and I went to Laney High School. He's a little ahead of me. But he and I went to the Laney High School, and the same athletics director and basketball coach who famously cut Michael Jordan was there when I was there. His name is Fred Lynch.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
He was famously cut when he was a kid, and by the way, that's a great thing for kids to see, that Michael Jordan got cut when he was young, but Michael Jordan has a competitive level that is very rarely seen in human beings. And whether he loses a little bit or loses a lot, he is going to make sure that he gets the most out of everything that he gets, whether he wins or loses. And I've played golf with him. I've watched him play basketball. I've had the luxury of growing up playing in the same city as him. And he is, without question, the most competitive and strongest mentally willed athlete I've ever seen in my life.
And by the way, to be able to go from one professional sport to another, just kind of like whatever, not a big deal. That's pretty baller too. Like that doesn't come around ever so often. That's an unusual talent. One of the things that I think is interesting is I feel like for you, a lot of things in your life happened early on, right? You were this really great hockey player. You obviously were scouted by the great Wayne Gretzky, like we're just saying, but you also met your wife at 13 years old. Is that right?
Yeah, I met her at 13 years old.
Wow.
Whew,
it's a while ago.
Yeah, it is. And I get really emotional when I speak about my wife, because it's she's my rock, and she's like the she's my goal, my person in my world. And I met her when I was 13 as a freshman, and she was like when you say the popular group and the hot girl, and I was just the nerd hockey player. And
I find that hard to believe, but okay, I'll let you finish your story.
I was really good at sports, but I was not really good at social views. And Tracy she was like the cool girl of school, and she was a really good equestrian. And I met her at 13, and I've been married to her for 34 years. And I've been very, very fortunate to have somebody that loves me for who I am, not what I do. And I'm so fortunate, Laura. And my wife is an amazing equestrian. My daughter is a world-class equestrian. And I think the competitiveness lives in our family, and you know how that is. And it's just, we push each other and we make each other better. And I couldn't be more proud to have one of the greatest women on the planet to be my soulmate.
Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. I'm
Yeah.
also going to make Eric rewatch that a couple of times. Not that he wouldn't say
Yeah.
the same about me. I dabble in equestrian myself, and
I
funny
know.
story.
Yay.
Yeah,
Listen,
I
you
broke both my
can do it.
wrists just
Can do it.
before our wedding jumping horses. So the equestrian brain, like the people who are like really into horses, we're
Yep.
really nuts because we get back on these
Crazy.
1,000-pound animals who we know can hurt us, who have hurt us in the past, and we're like, yeah, let me do it again. But I think that about you guys a little bit in the hockey rink as well. That is one sport, Jeremy, I've never played is hockey. My husband played hockey growing up because
Yes,
he
he
grew
did.
up in the Northeast.
Yes, he
I never
did.
did because I grew up in Wilmington, North Carolina. But I want your perspective in terms of youth hockey. Here in Florida, it's not like the biggest thing, but there are some leagues down here, and my son is getting to an age where he's kind of getting interested in it. How has the youth hockey changed from the time you were a kid to now? Like, what do parents need to know?
Number one, it's not easy because it's a sport that takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of time, and it's early mornings
Yeah,
because unfortunately we can't go out into a court and just play. We can't go out to just a
right.
field and play football. We need an arena, and it's a lot. And just like you, if you're going to go down to Can Do It, right, and go ride horses with Adam and everybody that you ride horses with, because I know you.
You're
I know
keeping
where you ride.
tabs.
I know where you ride. I know where you ride. My wife is my wife is one of the top in the world, so I know where you ride. And we need to put ourselves around the right environment, and sometimes it's harder than others. But if you really have a passion for something, and you really want to do something, you're going to put yourself around it, and you're going to make sure that you put everything into it. And whether it's on a hockey rink or baseball field, or if you just go into to a jumper stable,
Hmm.
um, it's very important to go after your dreams and to make sure that you put everything into your dreams, because we know life is short, and we love what we love, and we're gonna stay true to it. And I know you love horses. I know, and I'm so happy that you know that your family is into hockey, because obviously that's how we met, and that's how I'm
Yeah.
close to the Trump family. It's a great sport, but it's not an easy sport to get a hold of. But that doesn't mean that you have to stop, going after your dreams and living for your dreams.
My Pillow is excited to announce that their Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Their famous My Slippers, these haven't been on sale for over a year and are regularly priced at $119.98, but for a limited time are now only $59.98. And their 6-pack towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of My Pillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list, from bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. But that's not all. They're extending their 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free. Go to mypillow.com or call 800-624-3945 and be sure to use promo code TRUMP to save on all MyPillow products. That's promo code TRUMP. Well, you never want to look back, one day and say, what if? What if I would have done
No.
this? What if I
Mm-mm.
hadn't been too
No.
scared to try this, to put myself out there, to take this path that seemed a little daunting? That's, to me, that's how I've lived a lot of my life. I've
Yeah.
just said, you know
What's worse?
what?
What's worse that can happen?
Right.
The worst, the worst that can happen is you fail, or it doesn't work. Doesn't
But
mean you can't
sometimes
continue.
aren't those the greatest lessons though?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Just ask
Failure.
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan says, I've missed every single shot that I didn't take.
Yep. And had he
Yep.
not been cut from that team at Laney High School, who knows if he would be the all-time great that he ultimately became, right? I mean,
100%.
it does. And by the way, that's funny too, because I use that story a lot for my kids about continuing on and trying really hard and achieving whatever it is. They're 5 and 7, so they're still very little, but I want them to know that the things that you attain too easily, sometimes
Yeah.
you don't appreciate, right? Sometimes you have to fail, you have to fall down, you have
Failure
to
is the
lose a
best teacher.
game. It is 100%. It's the best
Yes.
teacher. So,
Failure is the best teacher. And, I always thought one of the best quotes that you can ever say is shoot for the moon. And even if you lose, even if you miss, you're amongst the stars. Right.
amen.
So
Yeah,
again, it's like, losing is the best teacher of quality, of being of understanding what a good person is. And it's good to lose. It's
it
okay
is
to
good.
lose.
I
By the way,
agree.
sometimes winning is not the greatest thing, because being a good winner is hard to do sometimes too. But being a
Mhm.
good loser is almost more important. So it's good that you say that.
Well, and I'll also argue, and I'll argue this forever, that had it not been for the outcome of the 2020 election, which, by the way, I have a lot of questions about still, and I hope one day we ultimately get to the bottom of that.
We I think we all know what I think we all know it. It's just being come to reality, right?
Yeah, but I will always say, and I've said this to my father-in-law, it's actually in so many ways better that he did not become president again for two consecutive terms. The fact that you had the 4 years of Biden and Harris in there, man, did it wake up the country and probably the world in a lot of respects. There were so many people who were falling for the old smoke and mirrors of the Democrats and the mainstream media. And they said,
Yeah.
oh, we're going to vote for, the old Uncle Scranton Joe, he's a nice guy. And that's what we want, civility back to the White House. Meanwhile, we've got, topless transgenders on the White House lawn. I digress. But
We get it.
you take a look around, Jeremy, things are not working well. And the people of this country were like, we see what you did there, and they aren't going to fall for it again. And so sometimes we all need a bit of a wake up call. And I will always argue that loss, maybe as tough as it's been for so many people over the past 4 years in America, was a necessary one, because we were very close to going down a path from which we probably can never recover here in this country.
Laura,
So
Laura, we might have averted World War III.
I agree with you.
Um, the what just happened in the last 4 months was not only monumental and historic, but I think saved not only democracy, but it saved our country. And whether I think World War III, we were on the brink of World War III.
Yeah.
And I think the only person that can save not only America, but can save the world, because he's got a conscious heart, and he understands what's going on. We literally just watched our world demise in 3 years, and watched someone who went through the worst lawfare of anything we've ever seen. And to be someone who doesn't have to do this, but loves America so much that literally not only just maybe saved America, but might have saved the world, and has the opportunity to do that. And thank goodness for people that love our country and love what we do. But I don't think people understand really what has happened over the last 3 months
Yeah.
that can I think we just dodged a big bullet, Laura. I really do.
We all got a second chance. I really feel that way. The
Yeah,
country
we
got a
did.
second chance, and honestly, the world probably got a second chance, because let's face it, if we find ourselves in World War III, it'll be a war unlike anything we've ever
It was going to happen.
experienced.
It was going to.
Yes. And that is probably on a nuclear level, and you
Yep.
you don't recover from that. So
It's
we
100%.
yeah, we couldn't have survived something like that. So I think we all got another chance. To get back onto hockey just quickly, I know you were inducted into the Hall of Fame last year. Tell me about that, and what that meant to you. Did you envision that? Was that something, like, whenever you were a kid and you were getting all this interest and stuff, you're like, one day,
Yeah.
tell me about that. That must have been amazing.
No, in 1980, when the U.S. won
Yeah.
the Olympics, I just wanted to be an Olympian, and I wanted to be an NHL player. I didn't think of being a Hall of Famer. So when Hall of Fame came calling, I wanted to win the Stanley Cup, but now the Hall of Fame came, and it was like, it was one of those things where I was like, oh, my goodness, I can't even believe that I'm one of a few hundred people that reached the upper echelon of this. But then, also, I went through a life changing kind of spiritual path that now I'm a Hall of Famer, and I view life differently, and I've seen everything that's going on in this world, and I have such an amazing appreciation and a gratitude for where I am. Hall of Fame is great. Yes, it's awesome. It's but I'm it's hard for me to not get emotional, but I love life. I love America. I love my wife. I love my family, and I'm so fortunate and proud that I can enjoy it in the safety and confines of California and where I am. And it's fantastic.
I love that. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we're getting California back on the right track. I don't know what's happening out there. Do we think we're ever going to see California heading in the right direction?
Well, if you obviously you watch the election, we had more counties in California turn red than any time in history. Mm-hmm. And I think Gavin Newsom is he is wearing out his welcome very, very quickly, especially in Southern California. And I think I think most of the Democratic Party is wearing out their welcome, to tell you the truth.
That's the truth. That is the truth. I know. And it wouldn't take much, just a couple little tweaks. And California is a great state. I always say this to friends of mine who live out there. Every time I visit California, I'm like, God, this is beautiful. It is one of the most beautiful states in the entire country. You've got the ocean, you've got mountains, you have great temperate weather there. It's just unfortunately been run, but hopefully we see a change to that.
By the worst mentality people of all time.
Right.
And the greed. We got to get rid of the greed. The greed is terrible between Nancy Pelosi, between Gavin Newsom, and I can go on, Adam Schiff. We can go on to all the people that have more greed and power. We have to get the greed out of California. If we do, which I think is coming, California's turning. Trust me, I see it.
No, I see it too. Do you know we sell the most product from the Trump campaign and raise the most money from the state of California versus any other state in the country? And that has stayed consistent for a long time at the Trump campaign. So that is it's
California.
A nice
California is not purple anymore. It's turning red. I'm telling you, California is not purple anymore. It's pink. And it's turning red. Trust me.
Okay, from your lips, we love that. Before I let you go, I want to know about Whiskey in the Wild. Tell me about that.
So I'm a big spirits person, and I love enjoying the spirits. I made a bet with my beautiful wife that I can create a spirit. I think it's one thing to enjoy life, and I'm a cigar guy. I'm a whiskey guy. I love to play golf. And I created something that is so unique and so great that I brought the whiskey world into the mainstream. I created a chocolate and a chocolate orange whiskey that will blow everybody's mind and will, in the course of a day when you're sitting outside and you're sharing a glass of whiskey with your friends, but you really want your significant other to have a glass of whiskey with you and sit and enjoy a nice cocktail at the end of the day. I built a whiskey that brings the female variety into whiskey. It's a chocolate and one of the most amazing spirits you've ever tasted. So it's not your old grandpa's cringe and burn whiskey. It's a let's have some fun. Let's sit by a fire. Let's enjoy life together, and let's have some fun. And
sounds great.
For my wife who would never drink a glass of whiskey, I built a whiskey that she will drink, that probably 90% of the female variety will drink, but also that the whiskey connoisseurs will be like, you know what, this is pretty good. And I'm bringing everybody together to have a great glass of whiskey at the end of the day and say, thank goodness for America And thank goodness for Donald Trump for making sure that America is great again. And it's going to be fantastic.
Oh, I like this. Okay, where can people find it?
So go to whiskeyinthewild.com. That is the best place to find it. We're going nationwide as fast as we possibly can, but I can honestly tell you that you will never have a greater experience drinking a glass of whiskey.
Well, I got to try this because I'll tell you something. So whiskey, I'll be really honest, is not my fave. However,
exactly. Chocolate.
But what I found, first of all, I got to try the chocolate because sounds delish.
Yeah.
But what I found is that when I get a bit of a hoarse voice and I need to be able to sing, which a lot of folks on the left, Jeremy, love whenever I sing. So I try to do it very often for them special. Very special for them.
I'm a singer too.
But I found that helps. Whiskey will help kind of like coat the throat. And if you're struggling with a little bit of a hoarse voice, I'll be honest, I was asked to sing a little song on New Year's Eve at Mar-a-Lago, and I lost my voice the week before. And so I took a little whiskey, and I feel like it helped, just help lubricate things. Does the chocolate whiskey do the same?
Not only with chocolate whiskey do the same, but if you put it in chocolate milk, you put it in hot chocolate, you put it in on a little you put my chocolate whiskey on a little vanilla ice cream, you will get the greatest experience you've ever seen. And I'm gonna talk to your producers. I'm gonna send you a bulk of my whiskey, and I will tell you, Laura, you will never ever have an experience in any kind of whiskey or maybe alcohol than you will have with Whiskey in the Wild. I will guarantee you, which I have. I've had one person in 4 years, say they didn't like it. One person.
Okay.
So
I'm ready to try it.
Very confident.
Send it my way. Well, Jeremy, you're the best. Thank you so much for coming on, spending a little time today.
Thank you.
And just being so cool, so down to earth.
Thank you.
Really appreciate your time and appreciate you. And I love the way you love your wife too. How beautiful a thing is that? It's so great.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate. I love my wife. I love my family. I love my country. And I'm very thankful. I'm thankful for what you did. I'm thankful for what Donald did. I'm thankful for what Eric did. I'm thankful for what Junior did. I'm really excited about 2025 in so many ways. So thank you. Thank you for what you did. Thank you for being a patriot. Thank you for being Lara Trump. And thank you for making sure that the RNC is in the right place.
You got it, my friend. All right. Well, we appreciate you, Jeremy Roenick. To everybody who's watching, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and follow. We'll see you back here next time for more of The Right View.
And I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out.
Nothing is worse than being on a phone call that drops. Nothing is worse than trying to text someone and you can't reach them because your phone is out of service range. And nothing is worse than supporting these major corporations and companies who don't support us. That is why I love Patriot Mobile. They are America's only Christian conservative wireless network. They use every cell tower out there available to all networks so that they have the greatest 4G and 5G coverage nationwide, and they support the causes that are important to us as conservatives. If you go today to patriotmobile.com/Lara Trump and use the promo code Trump, you will get free activation today. Again, that is patriotmobile.com/Lara Trump. The promo code is Trump for free activation so that you can get a great cell plan and feel good about doing it.